Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm called Monica KANSIIME. I work as a scientist at KAB International, based in Nairobi. I'll be making a presentation on sustainability of farmer seed production, a case of Africa indigenous vegetable seed in Tanzania. As of background, improving agricultural productivity in African smallholder agriculture is a critical outcome in the pathway to growth and poverty alleviation. Quality seed and variety of seed determines the success of productivity and resilience through expanded access to seed diversification. This is highlighted in various government policy and strategies in the region, in the East African region, for example, the Tanzania National Agriculture Policy, the Agriculture Sector Development Program, the Kenya Vision 2030, Uganda National Plan for Modernization of Agriculture, and the National Agriculture Policy. Lack of access to quality seed, however, remains a big development challenge and a challenge to achieving food security within the region. As we see, empirical evidence shows that 80% of seed sown in Africa is seed saved by farmers from previous harvests. In Tanzania, as an example, quality seed is supplied mainly by the private and public sector and focuses largely on cereal crops, especially hybrid maize. And yet we also find that the estimated market share for improved maize is approximately 10%. For all other crops, including those that are a priority for food security and nutrition, the share is considerably lower than 10%. Reliance on informal seed by smallholder farmers, which is often poor, leads to persistent low yields and food insecurity. The Irish Aid-funded Good Seed Initiative was implemented in Tanzania between 2013 and 2016, and it aimed to strengthen seed system for Africa indigenous vegetables, complying with government regulations to provide certified seed in Arusha region, where we linked farmer seed producers to seed companies growing on contract and quality declared seed in the Dodoma region. Key activities included farmer training in quality seed production, awareness creation on the value of using quality seed and health benefits of AIVs to stimulate demand, and innovation platforms that help to link seed producers to seed sector stakeholders and markets. Those are some of the examples of the Africa indigenous vegetables that we targeted. This study objectives and methods. First of all, I would like to mention that at the end of the GSI project, the evaluation showed that we had achieved our key outcomes. And this was mainly around income improvement, quality seed availability, and dietary diversity. But as we know, the challenge with most development efforts in Africa is how to sustain the continuity of benefits of the initiatives beyond project timeframe. So we assessed post-GSI project sustainability factors and explored the prospects for replicating the approach in a wider context. And this is 3 years post-project. The results are essential for guiding policy and practice in seed systems development. We collected data in August 2019 from Arusha, Arumeru, and Kongo and Popa districts. The results that we obtained, I will present them along two key segments, that seed system functioning, as well as benefits of farmer seed production. In terms of seed system functioning, we looked at seed production and distribution. First of all, did it continue? Yes, we established that farmer seed production continued even after the project has ended. And there were reported increases in number of seed producers and seed quantities produced and marketed. For example, in the Arusha region, we interviewed 2 seed companies who indicated that they had increased the quantity of seed they contracted from farmers from 14 metric tons to 41 metric tons in 2019. And the number of farmers they had contracted in the region, that's Arusha and Manyara, had increased from 112 to about 250 in the same period. And 6 seed companies were contracting farmers in the Arusha region compared to 3 seed companies as at when the project ended. In Dodoma, we also found that QDS producers increased. For example, in the 4 study villages, we established that the seed producers were about 112 compared to about 74 at the end of the project. In terms of seed system innovations and strategic linkages, we found that these linkages remained in part. For example, contract farmers continue to access extension, inspection, and seed testing by seed companies. And QDS growers also maintained their markets and established new one. And beyond, sometimes we even found they had got new agro dealers who are coming to collect seed from where it is produced. In terms of seed regulation, the seed amendment regulations of 2017 allowed QDS sales take place across all wards within the district, as opposed to only being sold where in the ward it is produced. And this opened up more market opportunities for QDS growers. In terms of benefits, increased availability of quality seed was one of the benefits. And we got evidence, we got from the seed companies indicating that seed rejection rates had reduced significantly from 20% 3 to 4 years ago to about 5% in 2019. And also testimonies from seed users, that's the vegetable growers, they agreed that AIV seed was more easily accessible due to availability of local production. It was affordable and it was in sufficient quantities to meet seasonal production demands. The other benefit was improved livelihoods and social status in the community. Seed producers indicated that seed production contributed more than 50% of their household income, so it provided an alternative avenue for them to earn incomes and diversify their source of livelihood. Then they also mentioned increased production and consumption of AIVs. We also find in across board that households producing AIVs for commercial purposes increased from 57, and also consumption increased. Here, the commercial purposes, I mean, in most cases, you'll find all farmers will grow some AIVs in one form or another, or whatever type. For example, AIVs like sweet potato leaves, cowpea leaves, pumpkin leaves. These are more or less traditionally grown by all households, though they did not consider them a commercial crop. But the introduction of crops like amaranth, African nightshade, they found them commercially viable, and we see more households coming into those crops because now they can access quality seed and they can increase their production. So what were the sustainability factors for continued farmer seed production? One was the market-based approach, which built producer business capacity and established linkages to markets that remained operational. The nutritional awareness, the awareness activities we did, I think also acted as a pull factor for the rise in demand for quality seed, because more people are interested in consuming vegetables for health and nutritional purposes. The fact that seed production was commercially viable provided incentives for farmers to stay in seed production. And then the seed regulations, as I indicated earlier, opened opportunities for QDS growers to access more diversified markets beyond their ward. We, however, found challenges to farmer seed production. First of all, the QDS producers more or less had no access to extension support. Seed inspection by Toski had ceased, and seed producers lacked access to foundation seed. Then contract farming still had challenges in the negotiations and had adherence to terms of contracts. While farmers felt that it was an assured way of marketing their seed, the fact that contracts were still considered unfavorable, it created some bit of bottlenecks. And in particular, women felt generally excluded from contracts because of land ownership and decision-making within the household. Then climatic factors affecting water availability and therefore quantity of seed produced, especially in the Dodoma region. While this may not be unique to seed production, it's still something that any efforts that focuses on crop production of any nature need to keep in mind. So what are the prospects for farmer seed systems? One is linking formal and farmers seed systems and improving the latter, proved an effective strategy to improve local seed supply and sustaining seed system functioning. So support to farmer-led systems will ensure the development of a tailored seed system that meets the ever-evolving needs of smallholder farmers. And in this case, seed policy reforms need implementing, and a functional quality assurance mechanism should be in place to ensure quality seed production, and that producers are able to tap into better markets, because now seed will be more quality seed, it's traceable, it is branded, so farmers, producers can reach better markets. And then adoption of gender inclusive approaches in contract farming and arrangements to ensure women benefit as much as men. In conclusion, small scale farmers can be organized and motivated to produce seed to fill the gap in seed supply by the formal sector. Seed production can provide economic benefits for seed producers and the community at large. And the sustainability factors, as I mentioned, the commercial viability, technical and market linkages, demand creation, and appropriate regulation. And finally, why the study focused on AIVs, the observed sustainability factors are applicable, developing farmer capacity to produce seed of other open or self-pollinating crops. I want to acknowledge the project, the GSI was funded by the Irish Aid, and the study was funded by KABI. GSI partners included KABI, World Vegetable Center, INADES Formation in Tanzania, and the Horticulture Research and Training Institute in Tengeru. I want to thank you very much for listening, and I wish you good deliberations.